I think Todd should put,
That'll be my question. Good afternoon. It's 2 o'clock, and I would like to call to order the July 30th meeting of the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the July 16 minutes. Is there any discussion? Welcome, Mr. Stonecipher. Is there a motion for approval? We have a motion and a second. And it passes. Next up is consent docket. There are 7 items on the consent docket. 4 of those are change orders and amendments. Special permit on bees, which I know we're all probably intrigued about.
No, I was going to comment. I've been doing this for several years now, and I've never seen a consent docket item to rescue and relocate bees in front of the Water Trust.
me neither.
I assume we've never had anyone request one before. Would be my guess. All right. Are there any other items we'd like to discuss on the consent docket? Do we want to discuss the bees any further? Seeing none, let's get a motion for approval. We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Sorry. And it passes. Next up is the concurrence docket. There is one item on the concurrence docket. It's a project with the City of Yukon. It does not include any AQUIT funds. Is there a motion for approval of the consent docket, or the concurrence docket? Motion and a second. Please vote. And it passes. We do not have any emergency contracts today. Next up is item 6, items for individual consideration. And item A is the plans and specifications to be advertised for the aeration system at Deer Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant.
Mr. Chairman, the blowers at Deer Creek have reached the end of their service life. We did replace a couple of them on an emergency, but these particular blowers were actually designed for an aeration system that is different than what's being used today. Now we are updating that system, and so we need to do a modification contingent with the plan, with a study that we have completed just recently. So this blower project will connect all the dots and get everything up to speed.
Are the existing blowers date back to when it was biodiscs?
That's before my time, but I would assume they do. Now, we have replaced some of those. We've replaced the diffusers, and we've replaced a couple of the blowers, but then the rest of the blowers have reached the end of their service life. So this is the plan to complete everything, where it was a little bit piecemeal there for a minute.
Okay. And so with the new blowers, will there be energy savings?
These are multi-state centrifugal blowers, and there should be, because they're more variable than the PD blowers that are there today.
Very good. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Browning? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve item 6A? Motion and a second. Please vote. And it passes. Item 6B is an item to enter an executive session to discuss a application permit requested by Southeastern Oklahoma Power Corporation. Is there a motion to go into executive session? And it passes, and we will do that at the heel of the docket. Items from trustees. Anything this morning? I see none. General manager reports. Mr. Browning.
Thanks, sir. Lakes have dropped a little bit, not too bad. Hefner's 2.5 feet below full pool, Draper's 3.5. Toka's about 0.8, and McGee Creek is about 0.7 below full. Don't see any rain in the foreseeable forecast, a lot of hot weather, so they may drop a bit more before we start getting some rain, but we're still in pretty decent shape. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that on August the 8th is Amy's birthday, so happy birthday.
39.
Really? I was thinking something less than that. Happy birthday. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions for Mr. Browning? I'm not aware of any citizens that have signed up to speak today. Therefore, we will recess into executive session.
We have 2 presentations, Mr. Chairman.
Did I go over those? That was quick.
They're right here in front of me, and I failed to mention them. Thank you very much.
Oh, we did on the South Canadian. Let's go back to item 8B and see the presentation on the South Canadian Wastewater Treatment Facility.
So these are the quarterly updates for South Canadian and then the Atoka Pipeline, and I am very sorry for overlooking this item.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and trustees. My name is Joy Cote, and I'm the Wastewater Treatment Project Manager for the Utilities Department. As Mr. Browning said, today is our quarterly update on our largest construction project on the wastewater side, the South Canadian Wastewater Treatment Plant Improvements Project. Some of the project drivers, not shown here, but just as a quick refresher, many of the components of the plant constructed in 1986 have reached the end of their service life and are in need of replacement. We also had more stringent effluent limits for our discharge for the plant, and we also wanted to enhance treatment capabilities. So with CPMY, who's now doing business as STV Infrastructure, and Crossland Heavy Contractors, we started this project in August of 2022. We're approaching 2 years on the project. So far, we've completed about 40% of the time for this project and about 44% of the payment, just over $79 million. Our Phase 1 major milestone, substantial completion with most of our new systems in place and commissioned, will take place in February of 2026. Final completion, which includes demolition of existing structures, cleanup, and other balancing and testing, will take place in February of 2027. In the last 90 days, we've made significant progress on the front and on the plant. We've completed the outfall and all of our effluent pipeline activities. We've completed the concrete pours for the aeration basin, which is our largest concrete structure on the project. I do have some photos to follow. They have also wound our precast, pre-stressed concrete clarifiers and provided shotcrete, or a certain type of grout mixture, on the walls on the outside. And they've formed and poured walls in the filter complex and our recycle pump station. Future events that we're looking forward to, they'll be stripping the shoring off the soffit at the aeration basin, working on sealing the walls in some of our electrical and grit wash buildings. We're also working on the TPO roof system for many of our buildings, primarily our electrical rooms, and then we will continue to form and place concrete on our various structures. So with that, I'll go ahead and show some of our photos. This is a little bit of a timeline from last June to now for our administration building. They are continuing interior work in this area as far as cable trays, conduit, other electrical, and HVAC work. For our headworks, not too much progress here. We've completed leak testing and some other activities to finish the concrete here, but headworks will become the star of the show soon enough as we begin startup activities. We've made significant progress in our grid vortex and grit wash areas. We now have concrete formed in those areas. We have masonry on the building, and we also have the TPO roof system, the white roofing on top. For our largest structure, the aeration basin, we've made significant progress. We, as I said before, have finished the concrete pours, and on the south side, which is to my left, you'll be able to see some of the forms and shoring that still need to be removed. The picture doesn't quite do it justice. It is a massive structure. We've also made great progress on our clarifiers. We actually completed all of our foundation work and underslab, and we now have 2 concrete tanks sitting there. We are currently getting our mechanisms and other items inside the clarifier coated at this time. As for our primary electrical building, we've completed the outer masonry and the generator pads outside the building, and they have also installed the TPO roof system, which is white. As for our disinfection building, our sodium hypochlorite generation system, and our brine storage area, we now have our masonry courses, some of our roofing, and to my left, you'll also be able to see our new chlorine contact area for disinfection purposes. And last but not least, on the solid side, we have slight progress on our digester thickening building by adding our roof system. And to my left, you can see the smaller building, which is our influent electrical building, which also has a new roofing system on it. With that said, that's all I have for our quarterly update. We've made some great progress. We anticipate being complete with most of our concrete activities by the end of the year, so most of our work will be turned inside for interior electrical and HVAC work. We are also working with the contractor to develop our startup plans because things always tend to go wrong in startup, so we want to be as prepared as possible. That's it for my presentation. I'd be happy to take any questions you have.
Completion date is?
February 2027.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy.
Very good. Thank you.
Andrew?
All right. Good afternoon, Chairman, Trustees. My name is Andrew Mishler. I'm Project Manager for Oklahoma City Utilities, handling the Atoka projects. So we'll go through some of the quarterly updates for the construction progress of the Atoka pipeline here. You've seen this quite often. This is an extensive project going from the Atoka Lake down at the south end up to the Stanley Draper Reservoir. 9 different project segments, and then 3 pump stations that will be getting built along the segments as we go. It's a total length of 98.6 miles. Under construction right now, we have 43 miles. And then last meeting, you guys approved the advertisement for another section that's just under 11 miles, and then also the Pump Station O project that is down at the south end of the lake. So section A71 goes from what will be the new Pump Station O up to the Colgate Station. It's just under 14 miles. Oscar Renda is our contractor. It'll be getting finished October of next year. We got about 73% of the pipe installed in the ground right now. You can see some of the work to reestablish the easement, as well as putting down some of this flex mat material that is protection for erosion at the creek crossings and stuff going on right now. 873 is our next section. It goes from Stonewall up to the Ada pump station. It's a little over 9 miles. McKee Utilities is the contractor. They'll be getting finished up next year in April. We've got about 56% of the pipe installed right now. Progress is moving along really well along this section. 874 goes from the Ada pump station up to the Canadian River. It's an 8-mile section. McKee was doing this section as well. Progress with the pipeline installation is complete. All the pipe is in the ground. Right now we're just working on the air release valves and then some of the corrosion protection system that's getting installed on the steel pipe to keep it from corroding. Site restoration and testing is all that we have left there. So we should be getting done with that project in the next couple months. The biggest item that we have probably is the 875 Canadian River crossing from our last update is complete. We have it installed. The new 60-inch tunnel that was put in with the 72, so there's 2 tunnels underneath the river. We got the tie-in completed on the 60-inch tie-in, so we are no longer using the old aerial crossing that went over the river. So that was a good accomplishment that we were able to get done finally. So that's good news. 877 is the next section. It goes from Conwa Pump Station up just past Highway 3. It's a little over 10 miles. Again, McKee Utilities is working on this section. It'll be getting done around this time next year. We just started doing the pipe installation. We've got a lot of pipe on site, ready to go in the ground. They've been working on the tunneling that goes underneath the Highway 177. And then you can see in this picture in the bottom left corner, they've been using this rock trenching excavator to dig all of the rock along the alignment in that section. So we've got that pretty much all completed. So we're ready to just like start installing pipe nice and efficiently. So we should be able to make great progress as we move through this section. Like I said at the beginning, last meeting you guys approved the advertisements for 876, which is the Canadian River up to the Conwa Pump Station. They're in the middle of the alignment, and as well as the Pump Station O, which is down by Lake Atoka. The Pump Station O has a tank, pump station, surge control facilities, and then tie-ins to the 60-inch, as well as the McGee Creek pipeline, which you can kind of see there in that image. And then after that, we'll be advertising another section later this year, which will probably be the 872 section, as well as another pump station will be going on at the Stonewall Pump Station, will be the next pump station to go up. Do you have any questions about the updates? We got a lot of work going on, yeah. Yes, we're happy it's.
Had a few leaks in it that we were dealing with, so,
It's substantial. It's a good thing to have that offline.
yeah, we're good to go there now, so, thank you, Andrew, great job.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We will now recess in the executive session.
As long as you keep a quorum, still recording, someone's having behind.
You might pick up a couple of things. So we have.
are back from executive session. There's no action needed. Therefore, we are adjourned.
Thank you, ladies.